It is said that there are some genes that destroy human life and there are some good genes that change human life. Today I will tell you the story how a fairy became the mother of a girl. Let's see the true story. A daughter was born in Ashraf's house. Ashraf's wife died immediately after the birth of her daughter. He was in a lot of trouble. Because of this daughters, his wife died. He did not like the girl at all. After some time, the villagers buried Ashraf's wife. Thus the night passes. Ashraf thinks his daughter is a witch. He says, "The girl killed my wife. Now she will kill me too." After throwing the girl out of the house, he closes the door. Ashraf had only one thing in the mind. His wife died because of the birth of the evil girl. After a while, it became dark and silent all around. If a dog was barking somewhere, its sound could be heard from the far away. A small child was left in that uninhabited place. Just then a man was driving a car on the road. Everything road was visible with the headlights of the car. So suddenly the car has to stop. A man from inside the car said, "What is lying there?" After sitting for some time, he saw that the thing was moving. He continues to move forward to see what is in that place. He was surprised as he approached. There is a child, such a small child. What he is doing on this quiet street? Maybe his mother will be around. Is there anyone? Whose baby is this? When no one comes, even after making a lot of noise, the man realizes that the child may be the result of someone's sin or someone has left the girl as a burden. Maybe someone intentionally threw the girl on the street. Saying this, the man picked up the child in his lap and sat in the car. He told the driver to drive. When he reached home, he called his wife. He said, "Alia, where are you? Come here." His wife came out of the room and said, "What happened? Why are you calling like this? Is everything all right?" Alia came out of the room and was talking to her husband. Then she says, "Hey, what's in your hand? Whose the baby is?" Her husband says, "Will you listen to something? Or you will be angry like this. I saw a lot around, but no one was there. I don't know what happened to this baby in the jungle at night. That's why I brought this baby with me." "Who are the parents of this child? Do you know?" said Alia. Akbar said, "If I had known, I would have delivered this child to them. Why should I separate a small child from his parents?" His wife crouched down and said, "No, I don't know whose baby you picked up. Let him lie on the street." The baby would have died if he had fallen on the street. Akbar looked at the baby with a magical look and said, "No, don't say that. It's a little soul. I don't know who threw the baby away. Parents never separate their soul from them. Wait for tonight. Tomorrow in the newspaper, I will spread the news of the baby. Whoever has the baby will come and take it. Don't worry and feed her." Akbar leads the child towards Alia. Alia picked up the baby on her lap and left the room without asking. While changing the baby's clothes, she may note that the baby is a girl. After finishing the work, she goes to get milk for the baby. After fetching the milk, she saw that the baby had come down. She noticed one thing. Looking at the baby, it looked like the baby's stomach was full. Someone fed her and left. The baby was smiling and playing before she came into the room. It was as if an unseen force was with her. She did not take the matter seriously but thought the baby would live in the morning. In the morning, Akbar printed the news of the child in the newspaper. Many days passed, and that morning never came. On that morning, her parents would come and take her, because the one who threw him out was her own father. And her father has kicked his daughter out of the house for the whole life. Alia thinks the child is a burden and continues to take care of the child. Alia smiled and asked her husband, "Is something known about the baby? It's been so long. The news of the baby has been published in the newspapers, but no one has taken the baby." Akbar said angrily, "So what I will do? Will I kill the child?" His wife said, "When did I say to kill her? Things are very expensive now. We have 3 children of our own. I think It would be better to keep her in the orphanage. She will grow up well. How long we will keep her in our house? Then Akbar said, Alia, you should not be ashamed to say such nonsense. The child will stay at home. She will stay at our house as my daughter. Then his wife got a little angry and said, do whatever you want. I will take care of my own children. If I have time, I will look after her. Otherwise, I can't. I have no responsibility towards her. You have found her, you can take care of her. No, I don't know whose guilt you are putting on our heads. And I don't like this child either. She keeps smiling all the time. She looks up and smiles. I don't know what she sees and smiles. Saying this, she left the room. Akbar looks at the child and says, this will be someone else's child too. What happened? That his parents left him on the street to die? He then put the blanket on the sleeping baby and lies down on his bed. He fell into a deep sleep. But suddenly the child's laughter woke him up at night. She looked well and there was no one there, but he felt like someone was leaning on the baby. The child was smiling. The baby was moving her face as if someone was feeding her, but who it was not understood. As the days went by, she was growing up fast. But surprisingly, Alia did not pay any attention to her. She would not let her sleep with her. The baby slept next to Akbar. Sometimes she cried at night and it seemed someone was trying to silence her. Someone is lovingly feeding her and filling her stomach. Akbar kept thinking, how is that possible? No, it's my misconception. Maybe Alia hiddenly fed the baby. He fell asleep while saying this, but Alia never took care of this child except her children. Yet the baby was always ready. Someone should wear her very nice clothes. Who could it be? Meanwhile, Alia thought Akbar might do all this. The kids were growing up. Akbar's 3 children started going to school. He named the little baby Arisha. Akbar loved her very much, but Alia hated her. Due to Akbar's insistence, Alia admitted Arisha to a government school. No one would bring her to school. Akbar was always out of the town during the day for work. But when he was at home, Alia took good care of the baby. But who would bring her to the school and who would bring her to home? This thought never crossed in Alia's mind. Now Arisha was growing up, but Akbar now felt that some unknown force was with Arisha. No one could see him. But when Arisha cried, that energy would come to her. Someone who took care of her, someone who hurt her, he hurt him too. Whenever Alia misbehaved with her or scolded or beat her, Alia would get hurt somewhere or her clothes would be torn in different places. She wondered who would do such thing. No one was able to find the mystery behind the incident, which was not strange because Alia still thought these things were her misconceptions. One day, Akbar had a sudden heart attack and he died. Now for Arisha, the house was no less than a hell. Soon Alia thinks of getting Arisha out of the house, but her children did not agree. Her children said, Mom, if we let Arisha out like this, people will point fingers at us because Dad brought her and he was Dad's daughter. I have an idea, and that is marriage. Marry her. Alia said in surprise, Marriage? Then her children said, Yes, we will marry Arisha. This will not only increase our respect but also cut the danger of the name Arisha. Alia said happily, Wow, great idea, but where do I get the boy for her? The one of her children said, Whoever, whether he is intoxicated or not, we will marry Arisha to him. Then she dies or remain alive, what is in it for us? We only have to get rid of her. From the beginning, we did not like her. She created an impression on our father's mind. Then Alia started looking for the boy. After a little effort, they find a boy. So very soon, Alia proposed for Arisha's marriage. The wedding day was fixed. Arisha was called 2 days before the wedding. Hearing about her own marriage, Arisha was surprised. She begs a lot, but goes in vain. The wedding day comes. Bridegroom comes with only 2 to 4 people. Seeing the groom, it was understood that the groom was intoxicated. That's how the marriage happens. Arisha got married and moved to a new house. Her husband's name was Faraz. Many days passed after that. Arisha had no contact with her father's house. But even here, she felt that someone was always with her. If her husband scolded her or beat her, that unseen force would punish him too. Faraz stopped talking to Arisha. He used to talk Arisha only for work or food. He used to return home after midnight. Most of the time he was intoxicated. One night he came to home late. The door was locked from inside. It took some time for Arisha to open the door. When Arisha opens the door, Faraz beats Arisha. While crying, Arisha blames her fate. Once Arisha fell asleep, she woke up in the morning and saw that Faraz was not in his place. She looked outside and could not find Faraz there either. Suddenly a voice could be heard from outside. Some people have brought Faraz with them. They said, "Sister-in-law, we have brought Faraz." Arisha then asked, "What happened to him? He was sleeping at home." They replied, "We found him in the dustbin. He looked like someone has hit him hard. He was on the verge of death. We rushed him to the hospital and then his sense returned. Take care of him. We don't know who has beaten her." Arisha gets very scared. Her husband's condition was getting worse day by day. Now Faraz was afraid of Arisha. It was as if someone has frightened him. There was someone who was threatening him, saying, "If you beat Arisha, you will not survive." At the time, Arisha felt nauseous. She was dizzy and vomited. She goes to the doctor, and when the checkup was done, the doctor says to her, "Congratulations, you are going to be a mother." Arisha says in surprise, "What?" The doctor said, "Yes, your body is very weak. I am prescribing you some medicine. Take this medicine regularly and take care of your body. However, where is your husband? He has not come today." Arisha says sadly, "No, he has not come today." Arisha thinks Faraz will be angry when he hears this news. I used to suffer alone, and now this little boy has to suffer too. When Faraz came to the house at night, she told him the news out of fear. Faraz grows crazy after hearing the news that she is going to be a mother. "I don't want this baby," Faraz said angrily. Then Arisha said, "What's wrong I have done? This is God's gift. Before God's will, what shall I do?" Then Faraz said, "Kill him before he comes to earth." Then Arisha said, "It's not possible. I can never kill my baby. I will make him human like myself." Hearing this, Faraz said, "From today I will not give you a single penny. I will also see how you manage your expenses." Faraz went out of his room. Arisha continues to cry over her misfortune. How many days and nights are cuts like this? Arisha understands her situation and starts sewing. She started sewing clothes at home. When she went to school, she was taught the rules of sewing. He used to spend the money that she earned by sewing clothes for herself, and she kept some for her baby. Her husband did not give her any money or stay at home. Her husband did not take care of her, but the unseen power that Arisha took care of a lot. Sometimes she would find many medicines for herself. Many times she felt as if someone had left money. She realized that another soul was growing inside her. The time for the baby to be born was approaching. Her pain started. She called on her neighbor with great difficulty. But her neighbor did not hear any sound. She was very scared. She had no idea what she was going to do. In this difficult time, who will help her? Then suddenly a nurse came. Arisha says with a smile on her face, "Hey nurse, you!" Nurse said, "Someone knocked me on the door of my house in Paris, and someone told me, 'Hurry up, Arisha is in a lot of trouble, and I moved here. I think it's time for delivery,'" said Arisha, sobbing in pain. Then Arisha gave birth to a boy. Arisha's condition was very bad. After finishing some work, the nurse gave the son to Arisha. After taking her son to her arms, Arisha felt something strange. She is now a mother. The feeling of being a mother can be felt when a girl becomes a mother. She named her baby Rahat. Sometimes Faraz would come home and snatch money from Arisha, but Arisha was silent. She never said anything. Now she lived only for her son. Her son was everything for her. Her husband was the only nominal. He was only there to beat Arisha. One day, Arisha was walking through the market when she noticed a lottery ticket lying on the ground. She wanted to go to the front and pick up the ticket. Maybe someone forgot and left. The poor man may have bought the ticket with great difficulty. Arisha keeps thinking again, how could anyone throw away this ticket in such an irresponsible way? Arisha came to a woman thinking about this. The woman looked like she was very rich. She came and said to Arisha, "Hey, this is my ticket, which has fallen down. I want to give you this ticket." Arisha then asked curiously, "But why? Do you know me?" The woman replied, "No, I don't know you. You also don't know me. But my mind says, if I give you this ticket, you will win a prize of 5 lakh taka." Arisha wonders, "Why? Why are you so kind to me?" The woman said, "I don't know, but my mind says that you need the money." Saying this, the woman left. Lottery ticket was in Arisha's hand. She kept this ticket and thought to herself, "Will this work for me? Maybe the lottery will be drawn in my name." After a long time, when the lottery was drawn and the prizes were announced, Arisha was so happy that her feet were not on the ground. Arisha's number got a prize of 5 lakh taka. Arisha was very happy to receive that award. With this prize money, she thought she would enroll her son in a good school. She thought her son will grow up to be a better person by studying. Whatever she endured, whatever she did not get, her son will get. But the poor girl never knew that anyone would look down on her. Nobody knows where Faraz heard from Arisha got 5 lakh taka through a lottery. Hearing this, he went crazy for money. The next day, Arisha was sewing clothes. Then Rahat was playing next to her. Suddenly, Faraz opens the door very loudly. He comes in and says, "Where is that money?" Arisha says, "What money?" Faraz gets angry and says, "Lottery money." Arisha says, "I have no money." "Who told you about the lottery?" Faraz got very angry and grabbed Arisha's hair and said, "Tell me, will you give me the money or not?" "I have said before, I don't have any money," says Arisha. Hearing this, Faraz slapped Arisha hard on the cheek, threatened her, "If you want to save your life and the life of your child, give me the money. Otherwise, I will kill you and bury you in this house." Saying this, Faraz left from here. Meanwhile, Arisha started crying, taking her baby on her chest. Why was fate doing that to her? Now a fear is in her mind. She was terrified. Faraz may harm the two of them. Although Rahat was his blood, yet Faraz was so ruthless towards the boy. He wants to kill his own blood. A lot of time passes. Faraz never comes home, but Arisha was very scared. One day, Faraz came home, but he was not alone. There was also a woman with him. She looked like a very bad woman. Faraz said, "She is my wife." How easily Faraz said such a big thing. As was her husband, so was his new wife. How much longer I will tolerate Arisha? Now she was thinking, "Oh God, why I am being punished?" Arisha said to Faraz, "Don't be ashamed of yourself. Even after you have a wife, you have married another." Arisha kept thinking to herself, "It would have been better if I have died at the time of my birth. My mother did not love me. My father passed away. Why I am still suffering so much?" It is already late at night, so Arisha goes to her room to sleep. As she goes to her room, she hears the women saying to Faraz, "It's been a week today, but you said you will kill Arisha on the first night." Then Faraz said, "We have to find out where she hid the money. She does not say where the money is, so how can we kill her?" Then the woman says, Arisha is a very stubborn woman. She is still at home after my misbehavior. I have an idea. Then Farah says, what idea? The women then began to explain everything to Faraz. At the time, a devilish smile was seen on Farah's face. That night, they planned to kill Arisha. Hearing this, Arisha got very scared. Then suddenly she felt if someone was sitting next to her. It's a feeling she had from childhood. She is scared by such feelings. The cold wind touched her. A white shadow appeared in front of her. As soon as the light moved, a woman was standing there. The woman was looking at Arisha and smiling. Her smile was full of compassion. Arisha said, who are you? I may have seen you somewhere. The woman said, Arisha, I'm the one who gave you the lottery ticket. I'm a fairy. I have been with you since you were little. Your father threw you on the street. A car might have killed you, but I saved you. Then a good man picks you up and takes you to his house. He took care of you, so I was very happy for him. But when he dies, his wife started torturing you a lot. When she tortured you, she was punished. That I gave it to her. Then Arisha said, I thought I always had someone with me, someone who could take care of me, someone who would let me tears fall on the ground, but I did not know it was a fairy. Then the fairy said, Alia is not your mother. Arisha says in surprise, what? Then the fairy said, yes, she is not your mother. As I said, you were picked up from the street by the good man Akbar, whom you know as your father. But your real father's name is Ashraf. He threw you on the street after your mother's death. He thought you were a witch. But Allah has more creatures in whose minds He has poured love for you. In fact, love is formed in my mind for you. Since then, I have considered you as my daughter. But I am a fairy. I was with you wherever you went. But today your husband is planning to kill you. He is planning to kill you with his wife. So I have appeared before you today to say that you are not alone. He will be punished in such a way he never imagined. You don't know what I will do with your stepmother Alia after you left. Today she is lying on her bed unconscious because she hurt you so much. She married you to an intoxicated man. She had to be punished, and her children are ruined. They are begging just to get you out of the house. I have come to tell you, believe only in God. All that is taken away from you will be returned to you. You'll be very happy with your son. As Arisha was talking to her, Farah's voice was heard from behind. Who are you talking to? And what are you doing here? Saying this, he entered the room. Then Arisha says, Faraz, do you want to kill me? Faraz then laughed and said, when you have known, get ready to die. First tell me where the 5 lakh taka is so that I can have fun with my wife after your death. Then Arisha says, I can't tell you that. That's my son's money. With that, I will raise my son. I will take care of him. Faraz then said, I am your husband. I have full rights over all your things. You know that? Then Arisha said, no, I will not give you any money. Faraz got angry and said, now I have to kill you. Before he could kill her, the fairy appeared in front of him in a terrible form. Her face turned black and her eyes were watering. Her hair was growing. She immediately twisted Faraz's neck and said, she is my daughter. Faraz asked in surprise, who are you? Are you her real mother? Then the fairy says, yes, I am her mother. The only difference is that she is human and I am a fairy. Can't we think of love? People like you are not human. Learn something from us. You have tortured her a lot. There will be no more oppression. Saying this, the fairy grabbed his neck and pushed him, and his head became detached from his body. His second wife was trying to escape, at which point her leg slipped, and she went against the wall and pushed. Whenever her head bumps against the wall, her head splits in two. Arisha fainted at the sight of this terrible situation. She did not understood what was happening. She never thought that her husband would die in front of her and his second wife. A day later, Arisha regained consciousness. She had no idea who Rahat cared about or how he was silenced. The fairy was with him. She was her angel mother who had been with her since childhood. She took care of her like a mother. She saved Arisha from her enemy. In front of Arisha, she came again like a shadow and said, "Believe in Allah. He will help you. Arisha, it is time for me to leave. Whenever any calamity befalls you, remember Allah from your heart. Never lose patience. When someone will bother or oppress you, I will kill him like this. Remember, you are not alone. Now you take care of your child, treat him well." Finally, the fairy smiles and leaves.